I want to beat up Fernando Vargas' son because he's the man. Everybody's getting a lot of attention. I want to get that guy now. Guys, this is what boxing gyms are like. It
Yeah.
is dog eat dog. This is not martial arts. This is not come in and bow to each other. This is, oh, we got a new guy in here. We're about the same size. I want to mess that guy up. I want to beat him up in front of everybody.
Welcome into Boxing Scene's top stories on ProBox TV. It helps to have a boxing lineage. Plenty of those, right? Coached by their father. Well, Emiliano Vargas, of course, the son of Fernando Vargas, 96 Olympian world champion, fought the best of his era, including Tito Trinidad, Sugar Shane Mosley, Oscar De La Hoya. His son, only 20 years old, is on a throwback schedule. An interview with him, in his own words, about his schedule and his future. Check it out.
I think just staying in the gym, staying focused. I mean, we're staying really busy. You know, I think I'm one of, if not the most active fighter on the Top Rank stable. So we're looking to do 2 more fights, 3 including this next one, and finish the year off with 6 fights. So going into the next year with maybe 5. You know, if we do start with 10 rounders, that's, if they all go the distance, then that's 50 rounds under my belt. So I don't get paid for overtime though, so we try to get them out of there as soon as we can. And, the rest I leave in God's hands.
Well, to help me break down his comments, I have the best combination of fighters. One who is coached by his dad. The other one is too good looking to be a boxer. That's right. Showtime, Sean Porter. Chris Algieri. Chris, it's like looking in a mirror talking to this kid, right? 20 years old, good looking, boxing. It's you, younger. What do you think of his words, man?
I've been a big fan of Emiliano for a while. Comes from great stock. Been friends with Fernando for a long time, and his kids are fantastic, super talented, really, really respectful. And I like where Emiliano's head's at. You know, yeah, he's a super good looking kid. Yeah, he looks like like he's walking off a movie set. But the kid likes to fight, and he likes to knock people out. Man, I've called a number of his fights on the way up. On the undercard of these Top Rank shows, man, he takes chances. He says, I'm a dog in there. Yeah, absolutely he is. He's got his father's blood coursing through his veins, and it shows. So regardless of how he looks, that's not the way he fights. And that's what you want in a kid like that. He is an absolute star in the making. Staying busy is huge. I had 5 fights my first year, 5 fights my second year, and some of those fights fell through, so I could have had even more. That's the way you want to be early on. So, and he mentioned getting rounds. I love that. Getting rounds. Everybody wants knockouts, but guys, rounds are important when you're a young fighter coming up. And step it up in class. He's fighting Larry Friars this weekend, who's been a staple as an opponent for years on Top Rank. He can dish it out as well. He's a tough guy, comes in great shape. So this is a bit of a step up for him as well. So getting rounds in, keep getting these fights under his belt. The fact that he wants to stay active is brilliant. Star quality of this kid is through the roof. The potential.
Well, you're going to be ringside for that one, so let us know how it is. Can't wait to hear about it. Showtime, talk about the pressure of being Fernando Vargas's kid. All right, this is a legend in boxing. We all saw his fights in the 90s. To grow up under that spotlight, that's not easy. Talk about the challenges of that if you can.
Yeah, I think Emiliano more than the other two, Amado and
Fernando Jr.
Jr. I think that Emiliano more than those two has really accepted I am my dad's son and everybody expects me to be great. Well, I'm going to be great. He really just takes it that way. I've talked to him during training, watched him very closely. He loves the sport. He loves being in the sport. He loves being Fernando Vargas's son. And these guys, they love the spotlight. They all treat it a little differently. To me, he's like in between both of his brothers. He loves it, but he doesn't love it too much. You know what I mean? He's unique. He's really, really special, and I think that everything that he's gotten to this point, he really deserves beyond being a Vargas. He's really performed enough to make a name for himself, and he's going to always be Vargas's son. But I think the more and more we see of him, we'll be able to look at him, classify him as what kind of fighter he is, talk about his style, and he'll start to leave his dad in the rearview mirror because of how great he is. It won't ever go completely out of the vision of our vision, but he'll establish himself as his own. But to this point, man, he handles everything by the way I look at it. He handles everything very, very very, very with the poise needed for someone such as him, especially at his age. He's special, and I think we've seen some of it. We're going to see a whole lot of it here in the next year.
Chris, I'm really curious about this. It's a joke, but it's true. A good-looking guy in the gym, people want to beat him up, right? You get that reputation as a pretty boy. You called them before cuties, guys with styles that don't really want to get hit. How hard can it be in the gym to prove that you're not that guy and turn it up when you have to? You went through that. What's it like, man?
Well, for one, Emiliano's not a cutie.
He's not at all.
No, he's a destroyer. He goes out there and he's trying to knock people out. He's got fast hands. He's got good punch, good body puncher. And again, like I said, he takes chances. He wants to hurt guys. So I do like that about him. But also, he's not going to have the same experience like a lot of other guys. Yeah, he's good looking. People want to beat those kind of guys up. That was my entire upbringing. But he is also Fernando's son. So you're not gonna forget he has a Vargas bloodline, and you're gonna have to, So he comes in with more than just a pretty face. Obviously, he's got the namesake. But yeah, I mean that's part of it, man. But also that puts a target on your back as well. Now you're Fernando Vargas' son. I want to beat up Fernando Vargas' son because he's the man. Everybody's getting a lot of attention. I want to get that guy now. Guys, this is what boxing gyms are like. It is dog eat dog. This is not martial arts. This is not come in and bow to each other. This is, we got a new guy in here. We're about the same size. I want to mess that guy up. I want to beat him up in front of everybody. That's just how boxing gyms are. If you've never been in one, I don't know if you can understand that. Sean, I know I see you laughing over there. You know how it is. This is just how boxing gyms are. We've all dealt with that in one way or another, and it doesn't matter where you're coming from. That's just part of the sport.
What I'm very curious about, Sean, when I look at Fernando Vargas, and I saw these fights live, when he took on Tito Trinidad, a lot of people made that's a really early fight for such a tough guy in Tito Trinidad. Now, I know he was 154-pound champion. He had beaten Winky Wright. But this idea that he was brought up in a lot of people's minds a little too quickly, Fernando Vargas in his prime, is that always a danger when you have a big name? All right, he's Fernando's son. Let's give him that big fight against this dangerous guy. And you go, hold on, he needs the maturity like everybody else. What's your thought on it?
Listen, man, I love that. I've had conversations with Dad. Dad understands that even though he was great and he was on his way to being great, he understands that fight with Tito was a little too soon for him. It's not just what the boxing world thinks and what they say. He for himself, he says, yeah, it was a little too soon for me. And he's not going to move his sons that same way. He's going to make sure that they are improving, that they're getting better, and that they're making the strides that they're supposed to make. And he's told me personally, hey, if I don't see it in the gym, I'm not putting him in a fight. I'll call off a fight if I need to, because he understands the severity and how sharp these guys, all three of them, need to be when they get in the ring. So, some of those business moves that were made for him, I think he appreciated it in the moment, but I think he understands some of the wear and tear, for the sake of words, that it's done to his body, to his being, and he's not willing to allow his sons to go through that same thing. So a lot like me, they're in a great position because they have someone who not only knows the game but also loves them. And when you put the two together, it's like, they're going to always be destined for greatness, and he's never going to put them in a compromising position.
Showtime, you always had your dad looking out for you, and it's good that Fernando Vargas has that experience to look out for his son, but you might have a fantastic future where all our future is this weekend. That's right, Anthony Joshua versus Dubois. Post-fight, stay right here. ProBox TV, download the ProBox TV app. We'll be doing our big fight breakdown. Post-fight, until then, enjoy the fights, and we'll see you afterward.
Wednesday Night Fights.
Dynamite action on Wednesday Night Fights every other Wednesday on your boxing channel.
Coming up on your next Wednesday Night Fights, October 9th. Chris, Primetime Colbert, and Omar Super Salcido step into the ring for what is sure to be a barn burner. Live from the ProBox Event Center in Plant City. Get your tickets at ProBoxTV.com or take your chances at the door. Wednesday Night Fights.
For more ProBox TV, scan the QR code on the screen or go to the App Store and Google Play. ProBox TV, your boxing channel.